What is up, everyone? The last few weeks, or last week or so, how long has it been? I don't know. We've been working
about a week.
We've been working on the FRS. It's been a blast. We took it all apart so we get all new fancy parts on it, and things are actually showing up very fast because luckily all this stuff is very plentiful. We actually have a pile already, which is
that's exciting.
So freaking cool. But never did I ever think I'd be building a 2JZ and an RB30 at the exact same time.
We have both of Japan's most famous inline sixes.
Exactly, and you know, they're so similar we get to compare them when we're finished, right? Which is kind of sick. They're very similar in many, many ways. Different manufacturers.
Mopping you up in the FRS. Insert the little hurt clip.
I'm not gonna doubt that. I don't know. We do need a bigger turbo on whatever. We're gonna see what happens. But we have to make progress on this car because we haven't touched it in a little while. Now that the holidays are over, parts are finally showing up for this thing, which is amazing. And today we gotta get something done. And today we're gonna start by tackling the fuel system. Luckily, Works exists, which means it's a one-stop shop here for all of our fuel system components, from the lines to the pumps to the filters to the that's all backwards. To the injectors, to all of the fittings, to the relay kits, everything we need to get this thing plumbed up, ready to go, to make some, bless you, jam.
Sorry.
So we're gonna start with the easiest part of this whole install, and that is getting the injectors in, and that's step one. So, right here is the fuel pump, not the injectors. Same box, right? Right here, boom. Works 1000cc injectors right here. Plenty of injector to make the power that we want. With these injectors on ethanol, we can still make upward of like 800 horsepower on these things. You don't gotta overspec your injectors. These are perfect. 1000cc Works. We have Works injectors in every car, and I let these cars sit with ethanol in them, and they still never give me problems. We've never had a DW injector fail on us, and so of course we're gonna continue using them on for future projects. So what's nice is even though they have a newer style injector plug on them, the RBs have the old EV1 style, right? So if you're using like an original harness or whatever, they actually come with the little adapters. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so you don't have to repin your harness, so it's really nice. But we're not gonna use that. So we're taking these off and put them on the shelf because we'll probably use these one day. So the injectors always come with a little packet of lube. Don't just throw it away. Definitely use this because when you're trying to put your injectors in, it's really easy to pinch these O-rings if they're dry. If they pinch, you're gonna have a fuel leak and everything's gonna suck on your first startup. A little bit of lube, get them on the seal, and it'll guarantee a nice slip-in fit with your new injectors. Most cars, not all cars, it's usually easy for me to get the injector in the rail first. Kind of holds them all into place. Just take the rail and get all the injectors to line up. It can be kind of a pain in the butt, but then we can bolt it in. Not to do too much injector talking, but this is such a major piece of the puzzle, we should do a little bit of talking about it. So when it comes to size, right, Works actually has a fuel injector calculator online. It's very easy to find, and you can kind of put in your inspected power, fuel type, displacement, number of cylinders, and it will help calculate what size injectors that you should use for your project. Step one. Now when it comes to port style injectors, they're technically universal, right? You can kind of shove any injector in any car with a certain amount of things. One thing you need to know is what size O-rings do you need to fit your rail and to fit your manifold, right? That's important. That stuff's easy to find looking at OEM injectors, or you can get a multi seal kit and just make it work. Also, another big one is going to be the height of the injector, right? So look how small this one is compared to these. These are a little bit longer. And that could be changed with, you know, some spacers on your rail or modifying your rail, which is not the end of the world. And then of course you have to be wary because some rails actually need to clip the injector to the rail to hold it into place versus it being sandwiched between the rail and the manifold. But if you don't want to do all that thinking, Works sells injectors specifically for certain setups, basically OEM combinations, which makes it easy for you. So you can just look up the car and what size injectors you want, and you order it and you're good to go. Less thinking. And they'll have the length, the seals, everything ready to work in your system. So don't be too stressed out. The next step is plumbing up our fuel system, but before we start laying any hoses, I really want to get the fuel hanger figured out and shove this big old juicy 420 liters per hour pump in there so we can get as much fuel to the engine as possible. I hate interior clips. Bane of all car guy existence. Never feels like a good way to remove them. There she goes. Right in here. Let's see. There we go. Looks like an S14 back here, doesn't it? Huh. Quick connects. Love that. So the lines are off. Now we could use our factory Nissan hammer and flathead to get this thing off. There we go. There we go. Damn, that's not an easy connector. There we go. Look at that little thing. Let's throw this thing back together, but with the new pump. OEM pump, I don't even know what it does, but it's useless. So, DW just came out with their 420, which is wild. If you think about how much fluid that is being pushed by this little thing, it's absolutely ridiculous. Really, really excited to try this pump out. We'll see what we can make on it with our fuel system. I don't really know the limitation of it, especially using the OEM hanger, but we're gonna find out, right? We have to run 5/16 to the hanger. It's just our factory limitation. Here out, we'll be running -8, which is good, right? There'll be some restriction in the beginning, but it's all about eliminating our restriction, right? How much will that really hinder the performance? We're gonna find out. So we're just gonna mimic the OEM situation right here. So same length so we can reach inside the tank. We're gonna run a new harness to our new pump and tie it all together. You ready? Boom, we're ready to go. It's still crazy to me that you can get a 420 pump that fits in like OEM hanger location, sizing and everything. And they sell the fit kit, so we have the sock and rubber bushing that makes it fit perfectly in the hanger. That's ridiculous. It's the same size as the OEM one. Let's get it back in the car. Be very careful, this thing's plastic, it's very easy to break. So before we can run lines, we have to mount one more thing, and that is our fuel filter, right? You need to filter the fuel so nothing gets in your injectors and causes you really bad. Works, of course, sells a fully serviceable stainless steel fuel filter. So not only is there a magnet in it, very small stainless steel mesh in it, which is cleanable. So take it out every once in a while, clean it out, you'll be good to go. Let's figure out where to shove this thing. This obviously goes between the fuel pump and the rail, so we gotta put it somewhere. Honestly, somewhere in the rail, kind of like where factory would be, is pretty nice. You know, factory's on a strut tower, but it looks factory, right? Gotta account for the steering shaft that isn't in there, but we could probably use this existing factory hole and make another, put another hole in it. And what do you think, right there?
It looks like the best option to me.
I don't hate that. No bare metal. You like that? We're using red because it's the first thing I could find, and then it gets it written up. There you go. You could jack up the car by this thing.
I ain't going nowhere.
I ain't going nowhere. Gotta play the fitting game. All right. Oh, what are you doing? All I hear is hammer coming from over here. That's a big ass hammer.
Make a room.
He's so dirty.
Look at his hair, bro.
This is the grunt work. I suck it up and get it done.
Actually, the last few days, Spoon has been tackling the car even more. Stitch welds in the whole front of the car, which looks so freaking cool. The chassis is gonna be so nice and solid and stiff. Like, steady progress on this thing on the background. A lot of the big parts starting to show up, so we'll be making some big progress on this car very shortly. But it's exciting, like seeing all the little stuff come together.
This is the shit work.
It's the grunt work, yeah.
Just gotta put your head down, suck it up, get it done.
It adds up. It's like, you see cars and like sitting like this and you're like, oh man, like they haven't done anything yet. And it's like, no, this is weeks worth of work. Just grinding, welding, plating.
It's not bad. I'm making quick work of it.
Now, the bottom end of the new engine's done. We're waiting on the head right now to get built. We got the trans. It's over there.
Sick.
Diff is on its way. Subframe's
On its way.
we have the front subframe. Cage is getting made. The end of the month, it's gonna be like
panels got shipped.
body panels got shipped. Like now the damn holidays are over. It's like everything. I said it too. End of January, it's gonna just be like. Well, that was a pro car update, but let's get back to the 34. So now is the tedious part, and that is actually running the fuel on itself. So my goal is to run a -8 feed to get optimal fuel delivery for our power level. The -6 lines, they usually max out around like 500, 550 with the straight 6s. So we want more than that, so we're going -8. I think to keep things simple, we're gonna keep the factory OEM metal line for the return and just kind of bridge into that, but we have to run a whole new line to the tank. With these cars, with the fuel tank so close to the chassis, it's gonna be cool, interesting.
You've been dreading this one, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Let's get to it.
I'm happy it ain't me.
All right, I found a path. I think it's just thick enough because this -8 line is thick with a piece of welding rod. So hopefully we can pull it through, or at least help it.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, I got it.
Pull through. I think we got a good path. It's not by anything moving, it's not by anything hot, so it's good to go, and it doesn't actually look like it's just like gonna be shoved in there, you know what I mean? Tie it up with the other lines. We should be good to go. Put this one on the fuel filter, and we're gonna actually work it our way backwards. As long as we follow the OEM fuel line location, we should be good to go. OEM thought it out, you know. And luckily at DW, they sell every type of AN fitting we can imagine, so we are good to go. You guys know the deal, slip it in. Actually, see the little tip right there? I always put a little bit of silicone on it, like the silicone that comes with your injectors and stuff, and it honestly makes them so much easier to assemble, and they don't bind as bad. So I would recommend it. It's not as easy without a vise, huh? Test pull. All right, let's get this thing on here. No fancy P-clamps here. Since we're utilizing the factory brake line and the factory return, I'm just gonna cable tie them to it nicely, and I'll keep it tucked up against the chassis out of harm's way. I feel like it's a move everyone does, but no one talks about it. If you're running all new lines, yeah, like billet P-clamps and stuff would be really sick, but this will do us very good.
It's like the dirty little secret.
It's a dirty little secret. Obviously, if the line is shitty and rusty and the bracket's falling off, don't use it. But these brackets are stout and the lines are tucked, so we're using them anyway, so they're here. Now it's time to connect it to our hanger, right? And as you guys saw, we had these Nissan quick connects right there. You see that? Which could be an issue, right? 34s and 15s, I believe, they all have quick connects. So if you want to go to like any AN line, it's tricky. But Deeshworks sells this fitting right here. Look at this. Comes out, and this goes on the quick connect and seals up. I thought that was really, really cool. I didn't even know they sold these. Like, I'm a huge fan of this, especially since 34 is now coming in, 15s are about to come in. This will be a big solution. So this is dash 8. I don't know the part number for dash 6, but you get the idea. Let's get our line made up and get this fitting on the hanger. Be very careful. This thing's plastic. It's very easy to break. I talked about it and it happened. I broke the end off of this. Where is it? The Deeshworks fitting went on really, really nice, but the problem was I was trying to utilize the factory fitting on this side, and it was way too tight in there, and I had a lot of pressure on it, and like right when we were about to do the it just went. So I had little expectations for this piece anyways, so what I'm thinking is we'll seal this up and we're gonna just shove a bulkhead on here, dash 8 bulkhead, and then this will allow me to get an AN fitting over this versus trying to run it with it. And we should be good to go. I'll drill some holes, cut some plastic, and be hopeful. Time to epoxy shut our old feed. I should have just did this from the beginning. Oh. This stuff is gnarly.
If you ever want to glue anything shut fast or just glue anything together fast, Sam Quick Set 50. You have 50 seconds to work with it.
Good luck. We have a DW straight bulkhead right here with the little seal. Put that there. Put our seal on. Look at that. We just converted our stock hanger to dash 8. All right, it's in. Not bad. I don't hate it. So it comes out a little bit too tall that this won't go on. Just too tall. So I think we'd take a hammer and dent it a little bit more right here. Come on, OEM's dented, you see that? Dent it a little bit more, paint it. It'll look good. That was not bad. We should just did that the first time.
You'll live and you'll learn.
You'll live and you'll learn. Now it's time to hook the rest of the stuff up. So pump to fuel filter. Now it's fuel filter to rail. So now we play the game of what fitting makes the line fit best in the car. This will be nice if it doesn't curl it too. Ooh, that's good stuff, Austin. Hugs it in nice.
Right under the intake.
I like that. I always like the 120s for the front because usually 90s look a little dorky when they go straight down. And then we can go straight off the filter, so that's an easy one. Oh, I'm here for that. Yeah, that's good stuff. Let's make this line up. Sometimes I measure and then make the line complete. Sometimes I mock up one end and then run it so I can get it like spot on. Filter to rail. Look how perfect this fits, dude. Look at that. Just hugs the intake. It looks so good. Now I made this line on the long side so we could either tie it up against the frame rail and run it forward, or we could pull it up and tie it underneath the intake so it's kind of out of the sight and out of the way. We got line coming from the pump to the filter, from the filter to the rail, and now the rail has fuel, right? Now it's time to return the fuel back to the system. Before we do that, you have to keep it regulated, and that is with a fuel pressure regulator. Usually you'll have them remote mounted somewhere, we'll say on the strut tower, right? So we'd run a return line from that to the regulator and the regulator back. But the radium rail that we have here, the fuel pressure regulator is actually built into it, which is really, really nice. And so we get to go straight off of this right to our hard factory lines, and that goes already back to the tank. So this position's kind of killing me because the sensor makes it a little tight because it's long, but I think it'll end up sitting normally right there with the plug in. I think that looks the most normal, right? Like that looks weird. It's either tilted that way or tilted the other way.
I kind of like it tilted that way. Sensors out of the way, and then the 1.8 or the 120 points.
Yeah,
down.
points right down. All right, that's not bad. I don't hate that. So we want to go -6 to the stock hard line. So Deesworks makes a really cool fitting for that. I don't mean for this to sound like a Deesworks commercial the whole time, but like,
hey, they got what you need.
they got good stuff. So it's nice and easy, right? It's not like you see those fake ones that are like a -6 with a hose clamp on them. You see those? Not it, right? Take your bit, slip it over, take a little compression bit right there, and then this we'll just clamp down. We'll tighten this up, he'll pinch the line. We'll be ready for a high pressure line. Hard line is now -6 ready. Come on, dude, that's too cool. Take this, get that on, and look at that. Our fuel system is fully hooked up. Dun, dun, dun. The full system is finished. All the fueling's done. Now we don't have to think about it. Move on to the next bit. I love that. The only thing I would like to do is actually wire a relay to the factory pump. So Deesworks has their relay kit right here. But what sucks about a lot of cars is the OEM fuel pump wiring is very inadequate to withstand to the amperage that these aftermarket pumps take. Very, very high velocity pump. It takes a lot of electricity, it takes a lot of amps, and so the factory wiring just can't cut it. A lot of times it'll make the pump underperform. Relaying your pump is super common in the aftermarket world, where you basically will then use your factory plug to trigger a relay, which is very easy, and you run this base straight to your battery. Nice thick wire with a steady flow of current to the pump, and you'll get the most use out of your pump. We'll have to hook this up later on, but for now, it's sealed up, and I got a lot of cleaning to do, so catch you later. All right, one more thing checked off the R34 list. Boom, it's getting there. Hopefully this gave you guys some confidence on doing your own custom fuel system on your project car. It seems like a lot because there's a lot going on, but it isn't that bad. Use this video, hopefully it helps you piece yours together. System by system, we're making some moves. I'd say next thing, we probably have to do the exhaust, the heat starting the engines for the first time without exhaust on, because it just sounds like crap. And besides that, it's coming together. There's a lot of small bits we still have to do. But we're getting there. A couple more lines of plumb, engine harness, which we came in somewhere. Hopefully we'll be able to hear this thing run soon. If RBs have one thing, it's good noises. You're gonna find out.
I'm excited. I'm really excited to hear it run.
I'm so pumped we're doing the FRS and this at the same time now, because I'm really excited to see how they compare. Because at the end of the day, it's a 3 liter straight 6. We got a 3 liter straight 6, different manufacturers, non-VTC. It should be very comparable. Boom, what?
Mop that 34 up.
I don't know, it might surprise us, dude. Like, I'm just such a Jay-Z guy that I'm like, my money's kind of on this thing, but I'm hoping to be pleasantly surprised with this thing. I'm trying to make as quick of moves as we can to get this thing going, because I just want to, like, I don't know, we've had such a good time with it, and the parts have been so easy to get that we have acquired a table of things. We're waiting on, like, 2 small bits. Hopefully it doesn't hold us up, but the next video should be a pretty intensive video on this thing, which I'm actually really excited to film and bang out. But for now, I hope you guys learned a couple things on 34s today and are excited for the progress so far. For now, you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more content. We'll see you guys very shortly.